So for years, I had knots in between my shoulder blades, and these were sore. My neck was out, migraines. It was all upper, but I got used to it and didn't listen and just fought through that. I think that's where it just traveled down to my spine and finally gave up. I said, well, if you're not going to listen to this, listen to this. So because it's better when you see it. I don't see myself to know where to correct. So you could give me your feedback on that. Listen, I aspire to be like the 84-year-old grandma.
Yeah.
That's got to be me.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, you want to age gracefully after, you know, like you say, sacrificing your body all these years for your work.
Hi, my name is Sandy. I think what attracted me to your program was it was your life experience and your knowledge and your outcome that gave me a glimmer of hope. I truly believe that it's one thing to be textbook smart in something and a whole nother thing to have a life experience on your side. So you have to go through it to know it. And I think that was my connection to you right off the bat. And that's where you stood out from everyone else, that you could relate. You weren't just tooting off, here's a bunch of exercises to do, you'll be fine. For me, I had 3 children and then became a self-employed painting contractor. And as a result of all of those things, I ended up having an emergency lumbar spinal fusion. I had stenosis, including cauda equina, and then later a prolapsed bowel. I don't know if it was due to COVID, but it was 12 weeks before I got to my first follow-up with the surgeon, which is too long because I had no guidance in that 12 weeks. So 4 months post-op, I got sent to physiotherapy. At that time, I by then was a mess, and they found out I had frozen shoulder and I developed bursitis in both hips on top of everything else. So they sent me for cortisone shots and everything. Tried to modify some of the exercises, and everything was just aggravating and increasing the pain. And there must be just a limit on physio, because after about 10 weeks, they said, well, that's it. That's all we can do. Go home, walk, 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 and walk some more. Well, I used to be a heavy walker. I couldn't make it to the post office and back, and I aggravate the pain. So saying this out loud is bringing tears to my eyes. And I had given up pretty much. I was trying to digest that this is my life and lump it or leave it. And it was difficult. So I found your program. I found that glimmer of hope and thought, well, just reach out, just one more try. And because I obviously didn't have faith in the doctors and the system. And what I learned is that core engagement is crucial to my life in everything I do. Standing at the sink doing my dishes, bending over to get the laundry, walking up and down the stairs. It doesn't matter how simple or menial the task. I have to engage my core and have my pelvis in a proper position. If I don't do that and emphasize that on any given day, I will have pain return. The more often I do it, the more natural it becomes, instinctive, and I have less pain. And that alone, for anything else in your program, is life-changing for me. So now engaging core has enabled me to do the important strengthening exercises that I need to support myself in a pain-free manner. And I don't know how to explain how it is. The other really important key for me was self-awareness. It's like a rebirth. It's like relearning your entire body. When you've been that broken, you have to stop and listen. What are you trying to tell me? I can't tell it what to do anymore. It's trying to tell me, and I have to listen. And there's an important connection between the brain and pain. And once I understood that, it snowballed into a wonderful effect. So what I feel happened was my body was in shock from the surgery and the pain prior to that and after that. While I was in pain, I don't know if it's called shock or fight or flight, but I was just completely tense everywhere. Didn't know how to relax that muscle. And none of us walk around flexing our muscles nonstop all day. In the past, I carry a lot of stress in my shoulders, so I'd walk around like this. Didn't know they were up until somebody said relax. So once I learned that important tool to just say to myself, it's okay, let go, and tell my brain to stop protecting my body, that it's okay now, things got better. I was creating more pain by being tense all the time. I wasn't listening to what it was trying to tell me. And to me, that changes everything. That's the key for me. So now I can do core engagement without fear of hurting my back, without fear of injuring my hips. It's all straightforward from here. And why in the world do they not teach that day one physiotherapy? Do they not teach that no matter what we teach you, this you have to master first, especially after this confusion? That's it's not important. Now I've got leg lifts, back bends, and I'm like, but I can't even cough without pain. So I'm just grateful for the system and very grateful for you.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't even know. I know that I'm not the same person that I was 4 weeks ago. The voice in my head has changed 100%. It used to go, I mean, it would just daily, I would say, is this all there is? And I'm trying to accept defeat. And I'm not easily defeated usually. So I was trying to swallow that hard pill. And now I wake up and say, wahoo, what does today bring me? And I can't, I know I'm repeating myself, but that is life changing for me. So I thank you immensely.
That's great. Yeah, it brings a tear to my eye as well.
It's an emotional and physical journey. It truly is. And I think you can't have one without the other.
It's a bloody minefield of the sick care system, hey?
Yeah. So it has to work together. And the added bonus is when you're getting yourself well physically, you can now focus on food as well. To me, it wasn't about the losing weight when I started your program. I just needed to survive, was the thought. And with the better mindset, I'm now saying, okay, well, we're gonna fix it, but we're gonna fix it right and nourish it, not just go on a diet. We're going to nourish it for what it needs, and it, in reality, it's quite simple. At my age, I've gone through decades of fad diets and things that commercials, take this, do this. This isn't a diet. It's just a way of life in a healthy manner. You're nourishing yourself, and that's important.
What results have you got so far in terms of your waistline?
Well, I had to do it twice because I thought I did it wrong, but I'm down 10 centimeters. And then I looked again. I went, are you sure? Maybe I'll have to move it. Maybe I put it in the wrong spot today. But I was very impressed. I was very impressed. Again, not my main motivation for this program, but that was a sweet bonus for me. And I know that extra weight on my middle is going to help my back. And so I can lose some of the fat and strengthen some of the muscles, and it's a good balance. And that's what it's about for me. I don't need to fit into a bikini at this age, but I do need to be well for my later stages of life. So
And where are you located?
I am in Ontario, Canada.
And I'm in Tasmania, so we use centimeters on the other end of the world. How many inches is that?
Oh, I don't know. I looked it up because I didn't want to know, but then I did want to know because I didn't want to focus, kind of like focusing on calories. I thought to myself, don't think about inches because then it will become a weight loss thing, right? Let me just check what that is. 10 centimeters.
I think that's 3 to 4 inches.
3.937. I'm going to take 4 inches.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that mental block when it comes to weight loss, I think, but like scale weight as opposed to the centimeters or the inches.
Yes. Now, I've never used to measure myself. Now that's my go-to. I'm going to measure my waistline because that's going to tell me a lot of important factors, like when I bloated from increasing my protein too quickly. I had to listen to my body and adjust some things. So that waistline is important to me for health also. I mean, as women, if we carry too much weight in our midsection, that's going to cause heart and diabetes and everything else. So that number is more important to me about health now, as opposed to what the scale is telling me. It's like I say, completely mind changing on how one looks at oneself. So
yeah, there's a lot of factors with your waistline. There's the surface fat, then there's the relaxed core, and then visceral fat around your organs. So all those things coming down together is how you achieve 10 centimeters or 4 inches without anything crazy, diuretics or anything. Yeah, increasing your food. Yeah.
Well, I hope to be able to increase so that I'm not, because I feel like I'm at the beginning of it, the relearning process. So at some point I'm going to be able to go out with the family for a big pig out dinner somewhere and not panic. I'm just going to say I can eat this and be fine with it and not think the old school way in my head and think, oh, well, now I have to starve myself tomorrow, or that's nonsense. It's nonsense. So yeah, that's my life goal.
Yeah.
Take the grandbabies for ice cream and
yeah, you got to enjoy your life, hey? Enjoy your food. Enjoy your movement. It's not punishment.
Yes.
Just a calorie surplus your whole life. Yes.
So it's been a wonderful journey, and you must hear this from everyone. I don't know, but it is 100% life changing. If you were here, I'd shake your hand.
I'd give you a big hug. But yeah, it's
yes, yeah.
Yeah, and you've been very engaging and showing up and asking questions and sending videos that I can give feedback to, and that makes a huge difference.
It's true. And that's important for me, I think, because mentally going through that recovery on my own was very alienating, and not having anybody to reach out and discuss the situation with. Again, and that's why it's important. So you had shoulder bursitis. I had hip bursitis. Doesn't matter if it's a different spot. As soon as I say bursitis, you go, oh yeah, I remember that. You know what limits you had. You know what pain you were in. And there's that connection. And that's what was important. When I spoke to physio about bursitis, they're like, well, just stretch it. Just lift your leg. Just do, ow. They're not hearing or they're not on the same playing field, I feel. They're just straight out of university is all they are. So I needed that connection to be heard, I suppose. Is kind of silly to say, but it validates what I feel is going on in my body. Yeah. And that's important for mental health.
Validation is a huge word. Even like your family, even your own support network can just sort of brush it off rather than really understand and offer solutions.
Well, after that long, they stop asking. It used to be, how you doing now? And you get the same answer. And then like, nobody cares really. They're just being polite. They're not really concerned about the level of pain you're in. they're past that now, you know. They're not concerned if you're getting better. So you don't bring it up. You just go, yeah, I'm fine. So, yeah.
So who would you recommend this program to?
Thought about that question a lot, and I don't think that it matters gender or age. I tell you, if I had a do-over, I would say that core engagement class is essential in high school. Before you go out and attack life, please teach this to the younger people. I know we think we're young and invincible. We did crazy stuff when we were young, but it will catch up with you. And if you can make proper core engagement a habit at a young age, would that not prevent a whole lot of repercussion later? I would just say everybody needs it from the beginning. I just would wish that on everybody.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I'm a guy, and it was a huge breakthrough for me after years of pain. It's just the majority of people that you see at the gym, yeah, rushing through these HIIT classes, yeah, especially generally, like, yeah, there's team training. It tends to be a younger crowd, but you see it a lot too. The forward pelvis, the sway back, the knock knees in younger women as well, and men that have put on a gut also relax. And for me, it was it's not necessarily to say that a weak core is the cause of your back pain. I think majorly it's hip tightness, tightness in your hip.
I agree.
And to work through that, you need to create that structure and stability in your lower back. Otherwise, you just compensate. It's you got one pillar of muscle of bone there, whereas everything else is much better supported. So if you've got tight hips and tight thoracic mobility, you're going to compensate through your lower back, and then you get a plethora of disc issues. And for yourself, the
cauda equina is so the nerves at the tailbone that look like there's a million nerves like a horse's tail. So what that was doing was being impeded, and it was causing like numbness down there. Had it gotten worse, it would have cut all the nerves to my bladder and my bowel. So I was chronic and not acute. Acute means it's already happened. I was right before that stage. So not knowing how long the pressure had been there, they don't know. Nerves usually regenerate. It's been a year and 4 or 5 months now. I still get the odd sensation of things. My legs still will sometimes get jumpy at night. So I know there's still nerve repair going on. The most of it has done. But I don't know internally to the bladder and bowel how well that's gone. And that's why I see a pelvic therapist, because the prolapse and the lack of, is it not blood supply, but also just stimulation like from nerves to be able to expand and contract like a core, but internally. So another reason that the core engagement is good, because it's helping me with that pelvic tilt, getting me in the right position. So
yeah, they're very closely related. I think like your core is, and then your pelvic floor. So in the pelvic floor specialists describe it like put the lid on your toothpaste tube before you squeeze the tube. Whereas teach it bracing, like, and then if you're not engaged in your pelvic floor, or actually doing your internal core, which is really your core. I mean, they come up with this concept because old school ab exercises don't work. They put more pressure on the outside. So yeah, pelvic floor forward, core kind of back to your spine, and then you can just, your middle back muscles and your glutes are going to be way more relevant to your back pain than just crunches.
Well, and another habit we discovered was, how I talked about being tense all the time, and that's where I was always like this because I was painting, and down there I was clenching all the time. So my whole body was in tight mode, and I never knew that I was tight because it was just a permanent reaction. So I probably
ear and guard.
damaged that way. So. Yeah, so I have to, it's really important for me, and I do this minimum twice a day, is just I'll lay on the floor, it feels good on my back, and just do like a pulse check and say, are your shoulders relaxed? Is your jaw relaxed? Because I clench my teeth. Is your pelvis relaxed? Just like when we intentionally tell ourselves to breathe, I
Yeah.
intentionally tell it to relax. And I feel heavier when I get up, so I know I've let some tightness go. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you. Thank you so much.
thank you. Thank you a million.